This is News 4 In Depth.
Our children are back in the classroom, and we're here for you getting answers on the issues parents are concerned about, including who's teaching your child.
Over a third of the 49,000 newly hired teachers last year did not have a teaching certificate.
We address AC and work order issues for your students' safety.
If I were to tell you that some items on this table were actually vapes and not school supplies.
And vapes disguised as school supplies. Our eye-opening investigation that has the attention of local and state lawmakers. Plus, see how area schools are cracking down on cell phones in classrooms right now on News 4 San Antonio In Depth.
Good evening and welcome to News 4 San Antonio In Depth. I'm Mandy Noel. Tonight we take a deep dive into the challenges our schools face and solutions that parents, educators, and students are seeking. We'll also have today's top stories and your weather forecast. But we begin with an unprecedented shortage of credentialed educators that's prompted districts to get creative. Some of them hiring teachers without the proper certifications. The News 4i team explored new data showing the consequence this is having in the classroom. Across the state, more than 1/3 of new teachers hired last year were not certified. So how is it impacting kids? A new statewide study from Texas Tech University points out that students in classes with uncertified teachers who lack any prior classroom experience suffer about 4 months of learning loss in reading and 3 months in math compared to students taught by certified teachers. But education leaders told state lawmakers there is one group of uncertified educators that is outperforming the rest of its peers.
Higher quality preparation programs, not just any certification program, and additional teaching experience can improve student outcomes.
Experts tell lawmakers the program needs improvement, calling on them to incentivize hands-on practice, teaching experiences, job-embedded coaching, and training educators in their specific content areas. We'll be closely watching the upcoming legislative session to see if they take any action. If your child is caught with a vape, schools are now required to send them to an alternative school or disciplinary program. It's part of a state law. School districts are going into their second year implementing it, and we checked into its impact. We looked at the data for several districts, looking at how many placements and alternative programs were the result of vaping. They classify things a little differently. Some use the number of offenses and others use the number of students. But in most of these districts, vaping is a big reason why kids are landing in alternative programs. The biggest concern, finding the space for them.
A vast majority of our hearings are for vaping of some sort, and we see a lot of repeat offenders, which is kind of concerning.
With a law this strict, she says no matter what method a district uses to enforce the law, it's important to let kids know they can turn it around. Students are also finding creative ways to sneak vapes into school. Our investigation discovered vapes disguised as school supplies. We don't like to hear that. The News 4i team's Jordan Elder joins us with some eye-opening information for parents and some props.
Yes, Mandy, I brought some of these to show you. So this is a pen and this is a highlighter, but they're actually vapes. From far away, though, it's super hard to tell. Here, I'll let you hold one of these. So here is a look. The tip comes out of this, and this becomes the mouthpiece, and then you can put the cap on just like you would a normal highlighter. This is a generic brand one, and this is the vape. From far away, if you think of a teacher in a classroom, it can be really, really hard to tell, and that's why schools are so concerned. They're seeing the regular vapes that we always see, but there's an increase in these as well. So what we did is we actually set up a whole table of school supplies to show you just how difficult this can be. Medical experts encourage you to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping and plus the consequences that we just told you about. There's a lot.
So this is like dumbfounding me looking at this because I thought these were real, but where are kids getting these from?
So it depends. You can get them through parents or friends if they're willing to buy them for you. There are smoke shops that don't necessarily always check IDs. In some cases, though, kids are buying these from strangers, and that's what schools are most concerned about, especially because you don't always know what's in them. A note, though, we did have to show ID to get these particular products when we got them online.
So the state's already looking at ways to regulate the marketing of these products. Texas has already made it a Class B misdemeanor for shops to market or sell vapes with certain cartoons and with images of food or candy.
And that's new as of January. Officials are already doing inspections about this. They've done about 150 so far. 20% of those resulted in violations. So now they're trying to figure out how to make sure things like this don't end up in kids' hands too.
So she had these all sitting here, and I thought that the two highlighters were real highlighters. I thought that was fake, but they're all fake. And until you explained, I just never would have thought.
Yeah, it's definitely something parents should watch out for. You now have to really look at the school supplies as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jordan. It's something lawmakers, what we were just talking about, could take up when they head back to Austin in January. And we thank you for looking into this. It's really eye-opening. So we want to know if you think lawmakers are doing enough to crack down on teen vaping. That is the question of our interactive poll. We've got it up on our website right now, or you can scan the code and let us know. There you see the results. 82% of you say no. So let us know what you think. A weapon of mass distraction. That's what many educators call cell phones. As News 4 San Antonio's Stephanie Esquivel shows us, local school districts are trying new cell phone policies to keep students focused and engaged.
You need your phone to be either put away in your backpack or in your pocket, just somewhere where you can't see it, the teacher can't see it, just so that it's out of the way during instruction.
This year, San Antonio ISD rolled out a district-wide policy that bans cell phone use during class. Art teacher at Brackenridge High School, Liz Hannavice, says so far she's seen several advantages, including more student participation.
We want all the kids to put their phones away. We want them to disengage from electronic devices. We want them to connect in the classroom.
Brackenridge students tell me they're still adapting.
The first few days, of course, it was an adjustment because we weren't so used to such a firm structure on it. But it took, after a few days, after that first week, kids kind of fell in line a bit with it.
Northside Independent School District allows each campus to determine its cell phone policy. And this school year, O'Connor High School is trying something different. Each student needs to turn in their cell phone before entering a classroom.
There's been studies that have said, okay, hey, it's good to have them in the classroom for educational purposes, but at the end of the day, they were actually using it for more social media, YouTube, and other things that weren't school related.
O'Connor's principal Robert Martinez says before implementing the new policy, a survey was sent out to teachers on campus. A vast majority agreed banning cell phone use during class would benefit students. That includes algebra teacher Natasha Benavides, who has been banning cell phone use in class for years.
From my experience, my students are able to go deeper into topics, so our curriculum is a little more rigorous.
Right now, O'Connor is the only school within Northside that requires students to turn their cell phones in at the beginning of class. Martinez says there are several middle schools with the same policy, and he thinks it's a matter of time before more campuses jump on board. Stephanie Esquivel, News 4 San Antonio.
We pulled together other school district cell phone policies. You can check them out by searching for this story on our website. And we've been telling you about some of the challenges facing San Antonio ISD. It includes closing more than 15 schools. Although the district is in a budget deficit, it plans on keeping all of those buildings. The district tells us it plans to repurpose some of those empty buildings, but until then, it's still spending money on them for routine maintenance and security. It's a plan some people think is not cost effective.
By selling them off to somebody that maybe wanted to build homes or some sort of residential component would probably benefit the district, and they could use that money to improve some of their existing facilities.
SAISD will continue to host community meetings for public input before any official decisions are made. The new school year started off on the wrong foot at one San Antonio school because the AC stopped working on one of the hottest days of the year.
A lot of people went to the nurse because they couldn't breathe. And going into the lunchroom to grab lunch, people couldn't breathe.
A teacher at Hot Wells Middle School reportedly fainted from the heat, and all students were moved to cooler areas. Crews got the AC working again for the next day of class. But this isn't SAISD's first infrastructure problem. Back in January, several schools were closed when the heating broke down. Then in May, the AC went out in several other schools. Superintendent tells us bond money will be used to address HVAC issues, and it's going to cost $250 million to make improvements. This is how the district is handling AC problems currently in the short term, by renting huge chillers for 20 campuses. The News 4 I-team got a hold of records showing the district has spent close to $2 million in rental fees this year. Some parents question whether that money should be spent on repairs. You can watch Jay Avila's full report at news4sa.com. The air conditioning and heating failures at SAISD also revealed an underlying problem, a disorganized work order system leading to long maintenance delays. An I-team investigation found the district had more than 4,700 unresolved work orders when classes began this month, most of them for HVAC problems at schools and support buildings.
This morning when I dropped off my daughter, it was still kind of hot in there. It wasn't as cool like it's supposed to be.
SAISD said its staff worked diligently over the summer to close those work orders, and later this fall it will transition to a new work order system with improved analytics. We have much more back-to-school content on our website, news4sa.com. You can scan the code to get updates on school bond projects that you're paying for, and you'll also learn how music and arts programs are helping students thrive. And we talk with school leaders about the pros and cons of AI in the classroom. Well, our kids sometimes need help with their homework and parents don't always know where to start, but there's free help out there at your fingertips. We'll show you where just ahead. And community input on a new downtown baseball stadium, what was said during a special city council meeting, next in tonight's News 4 Snapshot.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Vega, and this is your News 4 Snapshot. Zavala County officials are looking for a wanted suspect. They say this man, Mosley Dwight Thomas, is wanted for an outstanding warrant for an aggravated sexual assault of a child. If you have any information on Thomas, you are urged to call authorities. And do you recognize this woman? As San Antonio detectives say she was involved in vehicle burglaries and vehicle fraud. If you have any information on this suspect, you're asked to call SAPD. And San Antonio City Council held a special session today to talk about a new downtown ballpark. Council members and San Antonio Missions ownership heard from residents, some supportive, others concerned. The council plans on voting on the plan's initial framework on September 5th. And that's a look at tonight's News 4 Snapshot.
Well, your kids can get help with their homework without hiring a tutor. That sounds great. The instant resource available to all of us is just a few clicks away.
Been a really nice day here in South Texas. Not as many showers as we saw yesterday, but we are going to tell you about increasing chances of rain coming in for the Labor Day holiday.
And I'm Don Harris. Tonight we kick off a brand new season of Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights. It's Brandeis and O'Connor, one of the hottest rivalries.
School year is in full swing, and that means homework is too. If your kid is having trouble with getting it done or you're having a hard time helping them out, there is free help through the San Antonio Public Library's website.
Able to offer it to the community for free, I think, is a wonderful opportunity to support people in their learning.
From test prep to study guides, the library's website is rich with resources. Tutors can proofread essays and papers too. They can help with science and social studies assignments for kindergarten all the way up through college, and help with dreaded math homework too.
One of our most amazing services that we offer is live homework help through a service called Brain Fuse.
It's a really incredible resource. Live instructors are available for free from 11 a.m. to midnight in both English and Spanish. All you need to take advantage of the free online tutoring is a library card, which Bexar County residents can get for free at any public library. Several local districts also provide essentials so kids can focus on learning. Many offer clothing and food pantries for students, families, and district staff. This includes Northside, Northeast, Southside, Comal, and Schertz, Cibolo, University City ISDs. Many of these closets are still looking for volunteers and donations. You can learn more about each of those resources and how to help on news4sa.com. Just search for this story.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Siobhan Anders.
It has actually been a beautiful day here in San Antonio and South Texas. We have seen some clear blue skies, not as many showers today as we saw yesterday in the last several days. Currently 94 degrees. Humidity has dropped a little bit, sitting at 41%, so feels pretty nice outside. Temperatures across the region so far, we're looking at the only hot spot for the day that saw a triple digit was Carrizo Springs. They've now dropped back to 99, but here in San Antonio, we're sitting at 94 degrees right now with 90 up in the hill country. So as you can see, we have some partly cloudy skies across the area. Off to the east, we're still seeing some isolated pop-up showers, but like I said, nothing like we saw over the last couple of days. A little drier air filtered in last night and throughout the morning, and so we're not seeing as much of that activity. So we are kind of in the middle of two systems, one out to the west, which is starting to build as we go through the next couple of days. It will be affecting us. And then we also have an upper level low out in the Gulf of Mexico. So right now we're looking pretty good. But as we go into your Friday and on into, of course, the remainder of the holiday weekend, we are going to see increasing chances for some rain. Temperatures, though, will be cooler. That's going to be the positive with the cloud cover and rain showers. On Sunday, high of only 93. On Labor Day, we are going to see a high of only 89. So we stay in the upper 80s all through the beginning of next week. So as we look at what's going to happen, what's the next weather maker? Well, here's what to expect. By later this evening, we could see maybe a pop-up shower or two. Not expecting a whole lot. But for the most part, we are going to see overnight tonight a little bit of increasing cloud cover. You will see, again, a 30% chance of some rain for us throughout the day tomorrow. So as we look out to the west, the system in the west will start firing up some activity by tomorrow night, and then we will see maybe a few isolated showers off to the east. So as we get into your Saturday, then we begin to see the two systems starting to kind of push further into our area. That's going to increase our chances for rain Saturday going into Sunday, and our best chance of rain so far, unfortunately, is coming in on Labor Day. So not going to be a complete rain out, but we are going to have some pretty good rainfall, hopefully, for all four zones. So here it is, our rainfall forecast so far. We're watching it, see if it's going to be changing, but it does look like between now and, of course, as we get into your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we could see even maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches in some areas. So we're going to take it. For today, well, tomorrow, excuse me, we are going to see 95 degrees, 30% chance of some showers, 40% chance in the hill country, a few more clouds, high of 88. And out in the west, about a 40% chance with a high of 96. So as we go through the next 7 days, increasing chances for rain, 40% on Saturday, 50% on Sunday. Here comes Labor Day, about a 60% chance. And then we stay at about 50% as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. So we need the rain. I know it's not the greatest timing when it comes to Labor Day, but hopefully we can still get outside, enjoy some outdoor activities. Just make sure you keep your eyes to the sky. You might actually see a few raindrops.
This is the Thomas J. Henry Sports Desk.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ferris Stadium. Boy, it's an exciting night. The high school football season kicks off tonight with our 16th season of Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, and what a game to get it started. The rivalry between Brandeis and O'Connor. Over the past decade or so, or even longer, this has become one of the great rivalries in town. The teams are always good. The crowds are even better. We're expecting a full house or close to it tonight. And even though these two teams are not in the same district anymore, it's still huge. It used to be near the end of the season to decide a playoff spot or a district title. Now they get to start the season going head to head. And joining me live is the head coach of the O'Connor Panthers, one of the few guys who's been doing this as long as I have. And Coach Molesky, it's so good to see you again. And I know this never gets old for either one of us.
It definitely doesn't. To be able to be a part of something like this and in a rivalry game to open up the year, it doesn't get any better.
Tell people in San Antonio who aren't aware how this rivalry has built over the years and what it means to these two communities.
Well, I believe it was 2008 when Brandeis opened, and the majority of their students came from O'Connor. And so immediately that right there started the rival. And then both teams have had a lot of success over the years. And, you know, we're about 3.5 miles from one another, and so that adds even more to it. And so it's about bragging rights from one year to the next.
Tell me about your squad. Brand new team, pretty young squad for you tonight.
Well, I was actually thinking about this the other day, that I think it's kind of like Christmas. You know, you have all this excitement about the presents under the tree, and you're not quite sure what you're going to get till you open it, so it's going to kind of be that. But I do know this about our kids. They're going to come out here and they're going to play with everything they got, and we're going to play the right way, and hopefully we find a way to win this game at the end.
You know, your teams always do, Coach. Good luck to you tonight here on Thursday Night Live.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's David Molesky, head coach of the O'Connor Panthers. Here's the matchup. It's Brandeis and O'Connor. It kicks off tonight at 7 o'clock, and you can watch it on our sister station, CWSA. Now, we're going to have our cameras around town tonight. Lots of other games, including Bernie at Piper out at Warrior Stadium, Smithson Valley and Roosevelt at Comalander, South San and McCullum over at Harlandale Memorial, and Pearsall and Edison meet at the Rock Pile. Hey, some Cowboys news. Preseason practices continue for the boys. And with CeeDee Lamb's contract all finished up, the attention's now on Dak Prescott and whether his deal gets done. Some interesting comments from Jerry Jones yesterday. Dak said today doesn't necessarily have to have a new contract before the season starts, but did tell reporters it says a lot if an extension isn't done before the regular season opener in Cleveland, and that is only, of course, about 10 days away. And again, tonight it's Brandeis, it's O'Connor, so get ready. You got about 40 minutes to flip the channel over to the CW35. Chuck McIntyre and I will have the call. Nothing more exciting than the kickoff of the new season.
And of course, our two guys, Mr. Chuck McIntyre and our Don Harris, leading the way and making the call. Nothing like it. All right, thanks, Don. We will look for you on the CW. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us for News 4 In Depth. We're here for you to hold school districts and leaders accountable as the safety and security of our children is in their hands. If you missed any of this newscast, you can go to news4sa.com and you can find all of our in-depth newscasts on our YouTube channel. Just scan this QR code. We have covered more than 30 issues important to you, including the SA Austin corridor growth, the crisis at the border, youth crime, and ways to save you money. Do you have an issue impacting your school district that you would like us to look into? You can call our Crisis in the Classroom tip line. Next on News 4 San Antonio at 6:30, a weekend of what